interconnecting while they keep us busy. They keep us busy with all this. They are from the backside opening our doors for the Fulanis to begin to retake our land. But like I said, there are things I will not speak publicly here, of course, but I assure you that Biafra land will not, cannot, and never shall be taken over by Fulani as they intend or as they thought that they will, irrespective of the fact that Onyendu is temporary, unreachable physically. Now, on election, another election, I will make no comment on that until further notice. I know our people are desirous of the leadership making that we will work. We are aware of what is expected of us, and I will assure you that this issue is under our radar and under our discussion. Mazi Kelechi, thank you for your question, and I think I will expect the next person to ask, please. There were.
Okay. Follow your name and where you come from. Follow your name and where you calling from. Well, that line is up. Follow your name and where you calling from. I don't know. Follow your name and where you calling from. I think they are done.
Okay, all right, Mazi Alozie, you have done marvelous well. I think you've been on air for a long time, and you have given me almost one.
Let me get this guy here. Follow your name and where you calling from.
Hello, Mazi.
Welcome. Go ahead. Your name, please.
All right. Well, this is James calling from South Africa. Mazi, I have a question for DOS leader.
He's listening. Go ahead.
All right. My number one question is based on the announcement you made tonight. My first is when are you going to debunk issues arising on the social media? One, for example, the issue of our mother, one of the US people that mentioned that our leader was not part of those that said we must go on a sit, we must cancel the sit at home. When are you going to, how are you going to treat that issue? Because, and that there was also on air when she mentioned it. How are you going to treat that? And number two is the issue of Simon Eppa. I've been with Simon Eppa for a very long time, and Simon Eppa has never for one day before that spoke about against the DOS. What he has always done was to be able to analyze people, what they must understand. And he has been following according to the rules and regulations of IPOB. And recently, we all know what happened. People tried to set him up on that issue. So please, when are you going to begin to come on air to help us, give people more knowledge or what is happening? You cannot just wait after 1 week or 2 weeks to come and address you, dear friend. Sometimes it's so boring. We need the people to step up and come out. These are my questions. The question I get on top of it is number one, when are you going to come up on air to become one of the things that will be seen on the news? And number two, when are you going to address the issue of our mother, saying that our leader was not part of those that agreed to stop the sit at home? And number three, when is Samaneta going to take off the IPOB radio station to be able to broadcast so that we can also have a free and fair movement of our administration? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. What's his name again, please?
Yeah.
What?
His line is.
What's your name, please?
His line is poor.
Hello.
Your name.
Your name. Yes.
Mazi James, yes.
James.
From South Africa.
Mazi
Yes.
James.
And you are part of the family in South Africa.
Yes.
Now, let me answer the one that listen. I don't have time but let me answer the one that concerns Biafra mostly, and that most people will actually want me to respond to. And that has to do with the suspension of the sit at home. If I get you, when am I going to address the allegation that Oyindu was not part of the suspension of sit at home? Is that correct, right?
Yes, that is correct, because I was also that night live when I heard about everybody mother say talk about that.
Now, the issue of the sit at home in the first place was put in place by the DOS. It's not by any other person, not an external factor, nobody. It is when we recovered from the shock of seeing the picture of Onyendu on the 27th of June this year, 27th of the year, when we recovered the shock, we convened an emergency DOS meeting the same day that this picture came out, and we began to brainstorm on what needs to be done. At the end of the day, we decided that we shall call for a weekly sit at home, and I'm going to say it as it is now. And we decided to call a weekly sit at home, and then we made that decision and we made it public. And then our brother, Oyindu's younger brother, Kanu, requested for a meeting with some of us. At that meeting, he said that why are we trying to suffer our people by asking them to sit at home every Monday? Are we the ones who are going to feed them? That this will be an economic burden on them. Yes, he has a genuine concern. He is concerned about our people who are going to be denied once a day, for exercising or for showing because the brother of Kanunta, who has been inhumanly kidnapped and then renditioned to the zoo. When he read this concern, we said, yeah, of course your concern is good, but we will go ahead with that decision we have made. And he suggested to us that we should make it once a month. And we said, no, we are not going to do it once a month. We will do it as we have suggested. And then suddenly, after our lawyers were able to secure contact, to see our leader, the instruction came from Oyindu. Instruction came from the lawyer that Oyindu said we should suspend the sit at home. That was before the night, the first day. We haven't done the first day. Oyindu said we should suspend the sit at home. And I asked our people, those that I had discussion. I said, but what is the reason? Did Oyindu give any reason why we should suspend it? And they said he didn't give a reason. And I asked them, but you tell me, what reason would I give Biafrans why I am suspending this sit at home when our demands has not been met? That was my question. I asked those both in DOS and those who were not in DOS that I had the opportunity to speak with. They were there the news. I asked them, what will be the reason I have to give? And I think I'm trying to mix a little thing here, but the lawyers have not come back to us now. Now, this is before the night, the first day of it. So when I was asking them what is the reason they want us to suspend this thing, And they told me that we should use NACO as an excuse. I mean, we should use NACO because of the exam that the people are trying to hold. And I said, but NACO doesn't really. It's not a strong excuse to give the Biafrans why we should stop the sit at home. And I will be very, very frank. Me, and I'll take the responsibility. I haven't said it on air before because it's not. I don't come on air to. And I said, because there is no reason from our leader that we should stop this sit at home, that we are going to go ahead with the sit at home. And then we went ahead with the first sit at home. After we did the first sit at home, and it was a huge success, unbelievably successful. Then, after that same Monday after the sit at home, the lawyers had a visit again to Onyendu, and they now came back and said that Onyendu said we must suspend that sit at home. So that message came now the second time, and I said, okay, if Onyendu insists, after the evidence we have provided that this thing was successful and that our people were willing to do it, if he insists, I will suspend it. And I suspended it. That instruction came from Onyendu. And anybody who tells you otherwise is lying. And that's how I'll answer that question for you.
All right.
Now,
sorry, sir. I just have to comment quickly. I'm so sorry about it. But okay, addressing the issue of Samoneta, how do you tell we Biafrans why is the reason why Samoneta has not been allowed to broadcast on our platform?
Well, now I will answer that question because if I don't, it will be as if there is anything I'm hiding. Now listen. When William as well gave instruction that Simon Epa should be given a slot, and I repeat the word, a slot on Radio Biafra to broadcast like Maajaloje is broadcasting here today, a slot like Jonathan will broadcast, a slot like Ike Peters will do, a slot like our Malaysia coordinator, a slot like Kitch, all of them. A slot. And then we said, first of all, that instruction came from Oyindu through Barrister Ejiofor. Barrister Ejiofor delivered that message properly in the sense that he delivered to the leadership. But then he went ahead and also passed that message to Master Simon Epa himself. Now, we have a head of department of media, like we have departments under the EOS, and they all have heads that are heading them. The information that was given, the message from Oyendu that was given to us by Barrister Ejiofor was given not to Mazi or former directly because the time difference between Australia and where he is and here was different. So probably he was still sleeping. But that message was given to one of us in the DOS, and we were waiting for Mazi Chinas Anworu, who received that message from Mazi from Barrister to wait for Barrister for Ofoma to get up for him to give him that information, so that Ofoma will follow it up as we follow our procedures. But before we know it, that information was already in the public through our brother Mazi Simon, who announced it already, and the confusion began. First of all, that was contrary to our procedures, but that was not the issue. We overlooked it. And then a meeting was called. A meeting was called where the head of media was there, and some other two people were there, or three. And myself, as head of directorate, I came to witness how the discussion would go. And in that discussion, after they told Simon that yes, we need to give this instruction, but of course, these things normally should have followed that procedure. But let's forget it now. If you are going to be part of this broadcasting or if you are going to be given a slot to broadcast, there are procedures. There are documents that you need to sign. Document of rules and regulations guarding the media department, the undertaking that every principal officer signs, both those in the media, and of course our code of conduct, that these documents will remain available to him and for him to look to it and sign. Simon said, no, he would not sign. He said he will not sign, and the word he used is a word that actually, honestly, I didn't want to talk about this issue. That's why I've avoided it. But now that he raised it, I'm going to answer it, and I'm answering it truthfully. And the word Simon used in that meeting was, if we, IPOB, cannot hand him over Radio Biafra, then we should forget it. He will not sign. Hand over Radio Biafra to you, for what, as who? And everybody was quiet. And we were thinking ahead, did he say that or he didn't say it? He told us that there is a crisis in IPOB. He has come to do what? To solve the problem in IPOB. Okay. All this, as far as I'm concerned, was nothing really. And we went further to say, Abraham was also in that because Abraham is European rep. And Simon, where Simon resides in Finland, is under the authority of the European rep. So he was in that meeting. And a former said that, okay, don't worry, you will think over it because you may be in a hurry to say something, but we will pass these documents to Abraham to forward to you so that you, at your quiet time, you look at it and then do what? And decide. He said, don't send anything to me, to anybody. He will not sign. And then we said, okay, that's your decision. We will pass the message back to Onyendu. We passed the message back to Onyendu, and Onyendu didn't give us any counter instruction that we must overrule our principles. We must overrule our rules to accommodate that situation. So, and we know that is fine with our leader. And up till now, that has not changed. And that is going to be my answer to that question. And I hope that answered your question very well. Very well.
There's still more calls, but I think we've stretched it enough. And
I will take one more. I will take one more question, and I will call it a day. Of course, I'll let you rest, Mazi. Just one more question, and then we will call it a day. Please, if there is any comment, if not, then let me know. I will close.
Guys, not coming through yet.
All right, now let's leave it. Mazi Alozie, you have done great, wonderfully well. Great Biafrans, I appreciate your time that we have spent here. This is 1 hour, 37 minutes, going to almost 1 hour, 40 minutes. I have, that's the longest time I've been broadcasting. Because I'm not Onyendu, so people must not compare me with Nwachineke because he has a different energy, he has a different spirit. It is even when people begin to use the pedestal that Onyendu has established to compare those of us who are working. It can never be. There can never be two mans in Nnamdi Kanu. There can never be two captains in a ship. Therefore, we are working in the directorate in accordance, in agreement with him, with his spirit, and with his physical instructions. I thank all of you for this very evening. Like I said, going forward, I will, going forward, make available time once I come on air to be able to take questions for our people. And somebody, this is our last brother, was complaining that I'm coming once a week on air. My brother, you're right. Sometimes I come once a week, but there is no second or see members of BOS coming on air to speak. These are a team. We have a team. We have a team in the BOS. If that Mazi didn't come, does not mean that what they are saying is not in agreement with what the BOS is in. So I may come. Even today, I know that some of us, or even yesterday, I know that some of BOS members were on air. And tomorrow, there will be more members of VOS coming on air. Some of these matters that they interact with or they talk about on air, these things are issues that VOS is aware of. And so I will, in my little effort, continue to at least make sure that I come on air as and when the need arises to speak to our people, and then to give them proper directions on what to be done going forward. I appreciate you, Mazi Aloze, for this evening, and I appreciate great Biafrans all over the world. You are really wonderful, and all the national leadership that we have in every country, all the zonal leadership we have in all zones, all the state leadership we have in every state, all the unit leadership we have, please, you must not allow yourself to be distracted. A great work, a great burden is on our shoulders, each and every one of us. We must show loyalty to the leader of this movement. There will not be a second leader for IPOB. There is no vacuum in IPOB. There is no autopilot function in IPOB. The leader of this great movement is Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Amadike One, the supreme leader of IPOB. He is with us. He is not physically with us, of course, but he is in charge, and we will be working because our spirit is the same with his own. We will be giving orders and instructions according as he has trained us for 9 years and counting. And my prayer is that Chukwuadema shall also let his spirit pour upon all of you, that you will have that spiritual eye to discern when the enemy is knocking or locking around the corner, looking for whom to deceive, looking for whom to, distract. Don't let yourself be distracted. We, the DOS, have no other objective. We have no other agenda apart from the two agendas I have said here. The short-term agenda is to ensure that the safety of Onyendu is in fact, and that his well-being is not jeopardized, and that he rejoins us sooner than later. And of course, the ultimate objective and agenda of this DOS is to work with Onyendu and help him and assist him in ensuring that the kingdom of heaven, the restored, independent, and sovereign Biafran nation becomes a reality in our life. And with that, I will say again, with all the love in my heart, with all the love that I have, I will tell you that Biafra is not just our identity. Biafra is our heritage. And when it is our heritage, we must ensure that that heritage that has been taken away from us is brought back. It is brought back not for us alone, but for our children. It is brought back not for our children alone, but for generations